Top of the evening to you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're going to do a little saw test comparison. We have a ms362 standard. I'm thinking you can see the 3 holes in the side of the cylinder cover. And so what that means is it's not an M-tronic saw. It has a limited coil, but I've seen that they rev pretty high still. We're only going to run this one up a little bit, around 13.5 or so, because it's pretty new, haven't done too much with it. And we're going to run it against my buddy Dave over in Ireland. That's his 357. That has the Psy-KO zippkit, 4.4 horsepower for the Husqvarna. This one comes in at 4.7 or 4.69, depending on which printed literature you see. We're going to take a second, get everything warmed up, and we're going to have a bunch of dismounts. So we're probably going to skip the bar change sessions. And if you're looking at that little black thing in the back of the cylinder cover about halfway from top to bottom, that is actually a frog skin that I had custom made to work in saw applications for guys that are not necessarily falling timber in brush holes all the time, because I don't think those things would hold up very long on a saw like that. But in this application, I think it'll do just fine. So we wanted to get a little bit more flow for that particular saw, and that's one way to do it. Okay, so I tried running that thing down low around 13.5, and what I noticed is it was getting too much fuel. I turned it up to about 13,680 and it completely turned the corner and ran different. Just that little bit of carburation adjustment. It has those dual dogs on there. They're pretty much worthless from what I can tell based on this experience. They're definitely not angled right for anything but maybe a firewood chunk. But that saw is in Psy-KO S trim as per the request by the owner. Let's take a look at that frog skin, shall we? I actually had a couple different sizes made for working in saw applications. Generally saws don't have as much surface area to put a sticker, technically that's what it is I guess, onto the plastic like you would see in a snowmobile. I guess that's the original intent for those. But again, we can take a look at that bottom of the tine on that bucking spike and I guess wonder what happened in the thought process. So, well, I guess at least I'm wondering that. So now we'll have a bar change and we'll queue up the 357, see how she does. Next up we have the mighty 357 with the torque tweak. Now that saw is the one from a couple springs ago that I ran against a bunch of the other little 60cc Mighty Mites, and that thing was winning. I have refined my process a little bit over the last few years, and I think I have them running a little bit better now actually. So with any luck, the 362 is doing okay. But like I said earlier, it's missing really bad at 13,500. It doesn't even really like running. And it's the next half a level up in zippkit performance. So by rights, it should be running a little bit better. I guess we'll have to check the times in the description. I'll post my findings in there and see how things go. I'm gonna estimate that the two Mighty Mites are relatively close in time. They're running pretty low. Like I was saying earlier, the 362 is barely running at 13.5. You can hear it struggling because it's getting way too much fuel. Leaned it out a little bit, and lo and behold, she kind of comes alive, which means that that's going to be a little bit of a higher RPM saw. The 357 likes running pretty good down low. Got some pretty decent low-end tractor power in that state of tune. Hopefully my buddy Dave over in Ireland is going to be happy when it shows up on his doorstep here shortly. I weighed these saws on the same scales. Mine are just the old bathroom hand-me-down, so nothing special. Not weights and measure accurate by any stretch of imagination. All saws full of fuel because who cares what they weigh empty? You're not going to go use them empty. 15.2, 15.2, and 16.2 is what I got today. So, pound lighter on the two smaller saws, and they weigh relatively close to the same. Anyway, thanks for watching this session. Have a blessed day wherever it might be on God's green earth.